Howdy guys, welcome to the cave. I'm Mark, and you're watching Blue Street Customs. Okay, boys and girls. Well, I've got some stuff here. I did some work. I found some parts from other toys. Alright, I kind of figured out some stuff. I'll show you that in a bit. But I also went into town today. Had to pick up a new pet. And so we did that and went to a couple other stores. But I needed some extra parts for this. So I went to the dollar store and I found this. And this here was like $3. So we're going to open this up. Of course, it's made for kids, so it's going to be a real bitch to get into. Alright? Because anything for kids is a real pain to get into. Anything for adults, no problem for kids to get into. Some sort of monster truck thing. I don't know what it does, didn't care. Oh, that's self-propulsion. But don't care. All I want is this piece. I'm going to keep this around, you never know, right? Kind of a tanky looking thing. But I want this turret gun. And I wanted the wheels. So I'll have to figure out how the wheels come off. I don't know if they're just pressed on or if I could freaking take this whole thing apart. That's kind of cool though. Whatever, right? So there's that. And I got this thing. Kind of cool. Nice little Jeep, tent trailer, and turret gun. Now, from the looks of it, the only place I know you're allowed to tow like this is Alberta, which to me is retarded. Nobody should be towing a double trailer. Half the people don't even know how to drive, let alone tow a double trailer. But anyways, look at that. Grass for diorama or something. Most likely not. A little out of scale. But once again, the only reason I got this is because, you know, I needed some wheels, some guns. That's kind of a cool little turret gun or something, you know. We got well, it's from the dollar store. That's garbage now. Everything just kind of falls apart. It's all pressed together, snapped together, whatever. But it's, again, screws down in there. Well, if this ain't multi-use for something, I don't know what is. Because if you look right there, this is where you're supposed to put batteries. There's a switch, supposed to be a switch there. There's on and off. The words are actually there, but no switch, no batteries. This must have another use to it. Maybe they put an electric motor in it or something instead of a self-propulsion motor. I don't know. Either way, these are kind of cheap, cheesy wheels, but you know, I'm looking for something that, yeah, that's definitely not going to work on there. But I can use all these other parts for other things. Gas can. Seems a little out of scale, but, you know, for something else, who knows? You got a Jeep top, you know, bumpers, Jeep grill, front end, whatever you want to cut it up to use it for. You know, that one came apart. Same thing here. Oh, they actually got, it's a plastic canopy. Canopy looks like it just pops in, and then you got this fabric glued on top. Same thing. Nice little turret gun. Cut it off and, you know, mount it up on the roof or something. Or wow, how cheap. I mean, probably a little out of scale for this, but hey, you know, maybe at the back or something. That's one sci-fi freaking gun for this car. I'm not going to use it for that, but, you know, I've got bits and pieces that I can use, mirrors, whatever. So that's why I got these things. They were cheap. These are the ones I want. I think that'll look kind of cool. 4x4 this thing. Lift it up, maybe out. No, not out. Up anyways. So I'm going to tear this stuff apart, see what I can use. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'll be back. Okay guys, well, I've tore all that apart, as you saw. Got what I think I needed, what I'm possibly going to use. Now, I also did some work off the camera. Saw that I got the roll cage done, things like that. Mostly done anyways. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've got some parts here off of some other toys. I've cut them up, what I think I might use, you know, different pieces, this and that. But I've spent some time off camera. I cut a hole in the roof because I wanted some sort of turret on the top. After I did that, I started taking some of the parts and this and that. I found a shield off of one of the toys. Now I still have to adjust it a little bit, but took a bit of figuring, but I got it figured out. So, as you can see, got this big circle on the roof. Almost nothing visible inside the car. All right. But when you lift it up, you lift it up like this and up like that. Now we've got a gun turret. All right. Now I had to cut a piece of the roll cage out, so I'll have to do something with that. And I still need to adjust it a little bit because it doesn't sit exactly where I want it to. So I have to notch a little bit here for the tips of the barrels. But it can swivel back and forth, you know, and then if it's down a bit, it can also swivel left and right. And then it just slides back down, covers the hole. Now you can see there's a bit of a gap, and that's why I still have to notch a bit here so that everything can slide forward a little better. I also went and cut holes in here. And those here, I found these little rocket booster things off of another toy. These are going to be like mortar launchers out of the back. I'll have 4 of them across here. You know, 1 and 2 on each side. Next thing I'm going to be working on is I want a cage that sticks out the side here. Kind of like the Jurassic Park Jeep with the guy that slides out. And then he can shoot the tranq gun. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what the door is going to be for. So once I build it, the door will be on like that. All right. I'm also thinking I might use the trunk lid, and I want to put a seat back here with some sort of rear turret gun, and use this as the kind of like a what do you call it, armor plating or something. And you can sit there. The gun will be over top, something like that. So to get this off here now, the body, I gotta lift this up, and this will come off. See, there's the gun. And the swing arm, just, it has a notch for it. It just goes down inside. So if we take the body off of the car, you can see that it's, you know, I've got it glued down in there, on top of the backrest and the seats and stuff like that. I know it's not perfectly accurate, but hey, this is just a quick challenge that we're all doing. So make sure to check out the Tabletop Dungeoneers Discord. The link will be down in the description. So I'm going to get to building this cage. Now, one thing I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do is once that cage is on, I can't take the body off or put it on with this piece in the way. So I'm debating, do I cut that off? See, as it goes down, it goes across here, right? So if that's in the way with a big piece of the cage sticking out, I obviously can't take this on and off. So I'm thinking I might, because it's supposed to get glued to the bottom of the car like so, right? The whole bottom should get glued. So I'm thinking I might just cut this like that. Makes it a little weaker, but once it's all together, it won't matter anyways. I just have to be more careful of it while I'm handling it. But like I said, if I want to build this cage sticking out, I can't just lift it up after, because, well, that'll be in the way. So I'm going to do that, and I will start mocking up what I'm going to do, and we'll go from there. So once I've got that done, I'll be back. Hey guys, well, gotten a bit further. And like I said, I did cut out this side piece and went ahead and did a few other things. Now, take the body off here. Let me show you what I've got done. So, put the bumper on because I needed to know where the heights and everything was sitting. You can see that this bottom rail is missing. So, of course, it's quite weak. I just have to be careful with it. So, in the back, I used the trunk lid. That would be like an armor plate. You can see there, glued it in. Glued in some decorative pieces there. This is the biggest change. There's my cage. Now, originally I was thinking maybe a seat there, kind of like the Jurassic Park Jeep where, you know, it slides out and the guy sits there and he can shoot. I figured a pneumatic style gun would be better. So, you can see that down inside, I've got some rails. You kind of see it a bit there. The whole point of it is that it actually slides out. So I took this piece. Here's a gun that can rotate back and forth. Right? And all I did was take a couple pieces of tube, glued it to the bottom of this, notched out the floor, and glued 2 pieces of tube there. Then I took a couple thin pieces of rod that slide inside of it. Allows it to slide in and out. Just like so. So that's where I'm at right now for this part. Now, something else I'm also working on. Get this back together here. I'll show you. Yeah, so the other thing I'm working on right now is I gotta start figuring out how to put these on. So I'm gonna build suspension. I've got the rear axle out of this one, and I salvaged another rear axle from something else, because of course this is going to be 4-wheel drive. But having the axle there is too low for the wheels, right? So I need to lift my axle up so that it can be high enough, right? I gotta lift it up so it can be high enough to clear the body and everything. Now the way I'm going to do that is I'm building a tube chassis. Basically, I'm building the bottom half of a monster truck. So I'll build the tube chassis, and I'll put it on standoffs. That'll basically be like bolting it to the car, right? And then from here down, I can put my axles on, right? And put my tires on. So I'll just make it and set it the height that I need. And go from there. So I'll have one axle there, and I'll have one axle here. Obviously, I'm going to build them up a little higher. Then I'll build myself a divorced drop-down transfer case. So I'll have a drive shaft going from the front to the transfer case, from the back to the transfer case, and from the transmission to the transfer case. Not a big deal. Very easy. It's the way they do it with monster trucks. I also salvaged a motor from another vehicle. So I'm going to paint this up and everything to the way I want it once the vehicle is done. So of course with those long tube headers going down the way they do, I'm going to have to cut holes in the inner fender wells here so that they can drop through, because they're a lot wider, as you can see. So I need them to come through right about here somewhere. And with that motor came some side pipes. So I'll put them on somewhere somehow. Maybe I'll just put them on the side of the tube chassis so that everything is out of the way. I don't know. We'll figure that out. So that's where I'm at. And I'm just going to continue building my tube chassis. I'm at the point now where I'm trying to figure out my standoffs to figure out how high I need it off the bottom of the car, because I can't have it like that. I need it at least up about an inch or 3/4 of an inch, give or take. I'm still figuring that out. So yeah, once I get a little further, I'll show you where I'm at and show you what it looks like, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you in a few. Hey guys, well, got a bunch of that done, but I still needed a transfer case built. So that's what I started doing. I cut out a shape out of this, what was it, 3mm? I think it's 3mm styrene, right? And I cut this shape out of it. Okay. So then, top of that, I cut 2 layers, glued them together. Top of that, I cut out, I think they were 7mm. Yeah, 7mm round. Cut out a few of those, and these ones here I believe are 2.5 or 3mm round. Cut a bunch of those out. I have the same 3mm thick. Then a little thinner. This is 0.5mm thick, and I went with a 4 round, and then I also went with a 2.5 round. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not in view. There we go. And then on top of that, some of the straw pieces from Q-tips, right? I cut off, I still got to cut one more, but I cut off a small piece, probably about 2 to 3mm thick. Then on top of all of that, all of this stuff here, all these little parts, it's going to make up the transfer case, right? But I'm going one step further, and I'm making nuts and bolts. Well, nuts anyways. Bolt heads. I don't know if you even see that. Let me find something black to put it on. Look how small it is. That's the end of the tweezers, right? So those are tiny, tiny, tiny little circles. And just for comparison, that's the transfer case housing. And those will be all the little bolt heads. So, cut out a lot of these things, and all I'm using are these hollow hole punches, right? Simple and easy, and of course, well, it's a tedious job to build those, cut those things out. So I'm going to get to building these things. So I'm just going to use some of this Mr. Cement glue here, and we'll get to it. got this one done on this side, I'll let this dry, then I'll flip it over, do the same thing on this side. This one here will be a little different on the bottom piece because I need a spot where my transmission is going to hook into. This side here is just a bearing cap. That's, you know, one drive shaft and the other drive shaft. So once I've got this finished up, I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like.